Just wanted to show another deck. I'm not sure about the audio on this. Maybe I'll talk over myself. We have a candle and some dragon blood incense going, just cause I'm in a different location than usual in the barn, not using the black boards. I'm using some bricks, some wood, some carpet. So anyway, welcome. I think the lighting's okay. This deck is a little fuzzy. It's called the 1909. Let's see, Art Restoration Deck. And I got it on drive-through cards, which I kind of like, even though I never had any luck making a deck on there. They all turned out weird. But in the upper corner there, you can see the typical Rider-Waite, the Rider Tarot deck by US Games. You have to pardon me if I say more dumb stuff than usual, because I had some wine. We sat outside. It's a nice day, like 70 degrees. The sun's out. Dogs are happy, so on and so forth. But I wanted to show this deck today, since it's the end of the month and I need to do a couple of videos. But at some point, probably back indoors when I leave here, I'll compare a couple of those cards with the ones you can get easily from US Games. This is about $33 for this particular deck. Let me turn one over so you can see the back, or I'll just bring it up close maybe. Here's the full card. It's a little lighter than usual. And there's a long explanation or description on several of the cards that I'll show here in a second. And I'll still do these one at a time here in a minute. But first I'm gonna show them 3 rows of 7 like I usually do. And there's the backs, the lilies and roses, roses and lilies, however you say it. Put that down and let it go for a second. And then I'll record next little piece and stitch all this together. I'll record them one at a time. So here we go. So again, I'm not sure where it is. I'm sitting on the floor doing this in a barn, so I'm not sure how it's worked. Excuse the smoke. That's from some dragon blood incense and a candle that's burning, or was burning. I don't think you can see any of that on the camera right now. Let's see if we can get that candle. Kinda, sorta. But what we're going to single card flip through is the 1909 Art Restoration deck. And I'm not sure how I'll weave these together, whether it's 7, 14 at a glance first and then single card, or this way. Here's the box that comes in. This is from drivethroughcards.com. It's got that kind of game crafter foldy box thing going. But anyway, that's the box. It comes with all these extra cards, which I think I will read and show you the backs of. This is like the art card, but we'll get to that later, I think. But this is basically the 1909, or it's claiming to be the 1909 version of this deck, the Rider Tarot deck that you can get from US Games. The most common tarot deck. So which one do we want to do first? Let's do the major arcana. So I'm going to drop them into here one at a time, and hopefully they're clear. Let's see how it goes. This is what the backs look like. I kind of do it sideways so it doesn't fall in. But it's the old rose and something pattern, even though one of these cards seems to have it this color. I'm not sure if they're saying that's what it was originally or not. I guess we'll find out when we read this, since I'm not timing myself on this one. But you can tell that this is lighter than the Rider Tarot deck that you can get nowadays. Here's the full card. Hopefully that's bright enough. I think the sun has gone down, so you can kind of see this. I think it looks okay. The Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, and the Chariot. Now, and all of them at a glance, where I do 3 rows of 7, that would be the first row. This is number 8, which is a Strength card. The Hermit, my favorite mode to be in. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. Hanged Man. And Death. Temperance, the Devil, the Tower, our current moment, it seems every day, the Star, just kidding, the Moon, my all-time favorite card, the Star was a birth card, the Sun, it's got the squiggle up there near the Roman numeral 19. Here's 20, Judgment, and the World. Oh, look, and now I found the Ace of Wands that I said was missing. So that's good. It's not missing after all. Update. So that's the major arcana. Now we'll move on to the Wands, which is now complete. Okay, here we have the first suit in the minor arcana. These are the wands, suit of wands from the 1909 Art Restoration deck. You notice the first card there is the Ace of Wands right here. But this is from the Rider Tarot deck by US Games, because I'm missing the Ace of Wands for this deck. I don't know if it didn't come with it or because I haven't used it or anything. But you can see the difference in how the colors are, hopefully. That's a much brighter, newer deck from US Games. So that's the suit of wands. And let's make sure the backs are still the same. Yep, still compared to that. So let's go to the next suit. Hello. Here's the minors. We're starting with the suit of wands for the 1909 Art Restoration deck, which I keep saying but never turn on the card. It's like a zoom in shot of the Empress card. Interesting. So here we go, Ace of Wands. 2 of Wands, whoops. Again, the backs are still the same. Kind of what you call a stained vintage look, kinda. I don't know if that's deliberate as well. I guess we'll find out when we read that at the end. It's the 6 of Wands, 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands, more Wands, 10 of Wands, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, King of Wands. So that's the Wands. We'll move on to the Cups now. Whoops, sorry. Okay, here we are with the next suit from the Major Arcana and the 1909 Art Restoration deck. That's from Drive Through Cards. I'll let you look at that and then we'll move on to swords. And I will be back with a single card flip through, so I'll try to interlace all these together. Back again with the 1909 Art Restoration deck, which is, you know, the this, the Rider Tarot deck, but as they think it may have been in 1909, the deck's available on drivetrucards.com. Let's get to the cups. Ace of Cups. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry if the camera's been bouncy all along, but I'm doing it in a new location just to mix it up. 7, 8, 9, 10, page, knight, queen, king. Okay, I'll see you for the Pentacles. Okay, here we have the swords from the Minor Arcana in the 1909 Art Restoration deck. And in each one of these, I'm leaving the US Games modern version of the Rider Tarot deck, so you kind of know what the comparison is. But there's the swords, and we'll move on to the Pentacles. Oops, I meant to say pentacle. I meant to say swords, not pentacles. Here we are again with the Minor Arcana. This will be the sword suit for the 1909 Art Restoration deck. The equivalent of the Rider Tarot deck, believed to be more closely as it was in 1909. It's Ace of Swords, 2 of Swords, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, page, knight, queen, king. And now we'll get to the Pentacles, wherever the camera is. Sorry about the bouncies again. Ooh, sorry about the wobblies. Here we have the Pentacles suit from the 1909 Restoration deck, Art Restoration deck, which is available on Drive2Cards for $33, which I don't think I've said that every time, but that's okay. And now we'll move on to a single card flip through of each part. And probably at the end, I'll read the extra cards and show the extra cards that are in this deck. See ya. Back again with the suit of Pentacles for the 1909 Art Restoration deck, which is the equivalent of the Rider Tarot deck, but as it may have looked in 1909, I think. Here's the Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, page, knight, queen, king. And this thing that you're seeing is a part of a project I'm making to show cards. I'm using the box already, even though it's a very wabi-sabi. It's imperfect, but I still have to do the figures that'll go around this. So a little self-advertising. But that was all the cards were shown singularly for the 1909 Art Restoration deck. Now, when I come back, we'll go through these extra cards in the deck, which kind of tells more about it. So I'll see you shortly. So now I've shown both, full layouts, all the cards at a glance, at least major, and the 4 minor suits, minor Arcana suits. But now there's these extra cards that are in here. So I want to read and show those. And this, again, this is the 1909 Art Restoration deck that I got on Drive2Cards for, I think, about $30, $33, whatever it is now. And let's turn this around, my goofy little card showing thing. And on the back of the art card, or the title card for the deck, is like a zoomed in shot of the Empress. Not sure why. I guess maybe to let us see close up what it may have looked like back then, but I don't know that that's, I'm not into that level of detail or historical stuff. So first, let's look at each one of these cards. 3 of them have words on them. Here's like a black and white line drawing for the Fool card, I'll call it. I won't read it yet. The next one is a black and white line drawing for the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if this is theirs or they're claiming this to be the original. I don't know. And here is the 6 of Cups, black and white line drawing. Okay. And then this says that it is an averaged, whatever that means, averaged of all the major Arcana cards. Not sure what the point of that is, but I guess if you look long enough, you can kind of see several of them in that blurry thing. But I'm not sure what the point of doing that. Maybe it'll tell us when we read these. And on the back of this is where you get the red version of this, which is the back of all the cards. I'm not sure why that's that way either, but both are nice, I think. So let's put that away, and we don't need to look at this anymore, or the first card. So I guess while I'm reading the first card to you, since you have nothing to look at, I don't know, we can look at this, or look at this, until we get to the next one. Okay, the very first card, which I'll try to read while holding, it says, the 1909 Art Restoration deck here at the bottom. This says this is page 2 of 3, which would seem to be weird. Okay, so I gotta get these in order, my bad. Now this is 1 of 3, 2 of 3, it's 3 of 3, okay? And that was the Fool, so I should have known better. Anyway, this says, reading from top to bottom, the 1909 Roses and Lilies deck was the first ever Rider-Waite deck created. It was the deck from which the entire lineage of Rider-Waite decks was born. I guess nowadays it'd be Waite-Smith. It is the most historically significant and the most authoritative Rider-Waite deck of all. Okay, the Roses and Lilies deck contained the original imagery, now widely recognizable as the RWS tarot cards. Which all later decks reproduced from, including the 1910 Pam A version that immediately followed. That's the one that I have somewhere from my grandmother. It is said that only 5 copies of this 1909 deck are known to exist today, as the original plates were destroyed in World War II, WW2 it says. Now, the 1909 Art Restoration deck is a 2020 perfect replica of this legendary 1909 Roses and Lilies deck. Okay. The idea is to restore the 1909 deck with the same treatment of historical art with minimal editing to preserve a maximum level of original details. I'm not sure that's supremely important, but I guess to collectors it may be. A proper art restoration, in other words, it's a proper art restoration. This deck candidly reveals the minute printing artifacts, that's like oddities, bumps, lumps, wabi-sabi, from 1909 as historical features, showing the tonal variations in ink that reveal the travel of printing blocks, pen marks, brush marks involved. It retains the overprinting of color blocks, minor misalignments, and other charming imperfections that are characteristic of its creation and printing process, unique of its time. Okay. This restoration reveals an entire spectrum of finer details previously lost and unseen. So that's pretty cool, right? Let's see, where can I put this so you can kind of read it while I read the next one? Let's see, I put this in the bottom, then you'll know what this is. Let's see, let's put this over here, so that's page 1. Now we'll go on to page 2, which is the Wheel of Fortune on the back. On page 2 of 3, it says, throughout history, Rider-Waite decks were reproduced with technological limits of their time. It was common to see oversaturate, reapplied colors and sloppily traced line work, adding to an accumulative drift over the years from the original. Hey, that's my specialty. However, we now have the superior digital technologies with incredibly high definition and precision. In other words, you've been cheated all these years. The 1909 ARD, aka Art Restoration deck, is able to surpass the centuries worth of replication errors by channeling directly from the historic source, restoring its full glory and unprecedented detail and exactness. Wow. Few modern decks have attempted this seriousness and historical accuracy and production value. It sets a new reference standard in the Rider-Waite system for those seeking the purest connection to its historical source. And I'm sure somewhere they're hoping, like Dickens, that U.S. Games doesn't come after them. I'm just kidding. I think the next card gives more detail about who's doing all this. Okay, this is card 3 of 3. A note on restoration mythology. The 1909 ARD, aka Art Restoration deck, uses high-resolution scans for its initial survey and inspection prior to the actual restoration process. A meticulous manual cleaning and repairing process on each of the 78 cards was conducted to decontaminate conservatively the excess dirt that obscured the artwork. Wow. Color restoration is carefully calibrated to ensure a consistent and accurate preservation of colors and details. This process restored the look and feel of the one of 5 1909 specimen deck, should probably say decks, with all of its glories to the fullest possible extent, only now achieved digitally with full pixel and color perfection and printed onto brand new cards. Wow. And it says here that this was restored by C, the letter C, in London, 2020. First edition. Created with drive-through cards in June 2020. 78 Rider-Waite tarot cards plus 5 bonus cards. Portrait of the Empress and averaged major arcana and others. Gives the www.drivethroughcards.com address. These are considered public domain images from 1909 Rider-Waite tarot cards. Illustrations by Pamela Coleman Smith for Arthur Edward Waite. First published by William Rider and Son in London. 2020 Art Restoration by C in London, all rights reserved. So there you go. That was a look and a reading, not yet, a reading from the 1909 Art Restoration deck. So I'm but I don't know. I try not to keep up with all those details. But this is for the 1909 Art Restoration deck. I thought it might be nice to see them in some kind of spread. This is like a bridge past to the future, water under the bridge. Anyway, I'm not going to do the reading, but I will show you what the cards look like when they're down, and then flip them over. We got the Six of Pentacles in the past, the Three of Wands, and let's see what is making up our bridge. The King of Cups. Wow, the Six of Cups and Strength. Ooh, that's kind of good coming off the bridge there, going this way to that way. What water is passed under the bridge? Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Let's go over here. See what the future might have if we were to do it this way. The Eight of Cups. And what might we have over here? We have the Emperor. So hopefully that's showing up. Let me try to move these over. I think that one over there is getting too much sun. For that, I apologize. Let me try to darken it a little. That's the Emperor. And again, this is just how it might look in some kind of spread. Doesn't have to be this one. Could be anything. The 1909 for the 1909 Art Restoration deck. So with that, I will say thanks for watching. Peace. Hope everybody's doing well. And again, peace.